Toby, what's up, my brother?
What's up, man? Nothing much. I've just, we've all gone through a lot over these past few months and this past year, but I've definitely like had to change my life around a lot in order to adapt to these circumstances. But overall, I've been doing good, man. It just feels great to see you again, especially since I've been down at college for a while now.
Toby Burack, spur of the moment. March 19th for the niggas in the future, historical purposes, going down in the archives. 2021, it's Friday. It's a Friday. So, what's up, man? You look like a new dude. Beard and shit? Like, where'd the beard come from?
I mean, I've definitely gotten older. Clearly, definitely like got the beard as my new style, but yeah, definitely over the past year or so, I mean, my life has changed a lot. Obviously, COVID hit us at the most unexpected time. I went through a lot. I was very depressed a lot of the times. I gained a lot of weight, and that just motivated me to want to change my life around, especially when I got to college because I had to make the transition to college through this process. So yeah, it's just been a roller coaster. It's been a crazy up and down ride, but I feel good on the path that I'm on right now. And again, it's just so great to be able to be here because I know one time I remember just scrolling through my Instagram and I come across a video that you made, and you're like, I'm gonna be shitting on all those people who doubted me, and now I bet everyone's hitting your line is like, yo, when's your next podcast slot open? So yeah.
I wish it was like that. I wish people was hitting my line like that. But, honestly, I feel like that thought pattern was pretty negative of me to be like, I'm gonna shit on all my haters. Because honestly, nowadays, every time I get a hate message nowadays, I just kind of laugh because you have to sympathize with them. You have to sympathize with them because when they send you a hateful message, it just means they see something in you that they don't see in themselves. Like it's something wrong with them. Like you playing operation on their ass. Like it's like maybe I did something that hurts your heart so bad you have to suck my dick. I never got that. That was the one thing I never got. So I don't. I mean, I don't know. Like if you found that to be inspirational, bro, thank God. Like I'm happy that I did that. I didn't. It'd be wild when I get a random DM from somebody saying they fuck with the podcast or something. That should make my day. But I would retract that statement partially.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, I definitely like see your thought process, and also I think a lot of the times it can be like kind of unhealthy in a sense to like direct all your energy at those people when you could just like use it like for yourself to really advance like your own craft and stuff like that. So
Take me back to the beginning, bro. Like you said, a lot of shit started with COVID. Like where was you at the start of COVID?
it was crazy. So right as COVID hit, I was actually in Egypt as part of an enrichment program with my high school, and like I was actually like living a good like living like I was actually like at a high point in my life. Like I just got through like a really tough section of high school where I was taking really hard classes, and like I got to travel to a place like Egypt that is like so known for like its landmarks, and it was just so surreal to be there. And then COVID hits, and
Where
then I'm
was you
like,
at in Egypt?
I went to a lot of places there. So I went to Cairo, and then from there I actually took a boat cruise up the Nile River to a lot of other places. So
You
I
with
was
your family or you was
Oh no, it was at my
school
school.
trip?
Yeah, it was at my school. It
Like a
was
spring break trip?
Oh no. Oh no. So my high school had a tradition called Enrichment Week, where it was like a week between like second trimester and third trimester where students got to choose like a trip or a program to enroll in to really like enrich like their view on the world and like their learning, hence the name Enrichment Week. And that year they actually had a trip to Egypt, and I just thought that sounds so cool. Like I remember I would read an atlas as a kid of like all like the monuments there and like all of like the history about it. So I was like, why not just make it come to life? So yeah, that's why I chose to go there.
So where So where'd you go in Egypt? Where was you at? Like, where'd you go? Like, would you like take me to Egypt? First day in Egypt, step off the plane.
So step off the plane.
Take me to the plane. Matter of fact, take me just to the beginning of Egypt.
Beginning. All right, so like kind of like when kind of started in the States and like
Yeah, like at the crib, like last night or something.
oh, I got you. So yeah, at the crib, it's obviously very nerve wracking, knowing that I'm going to travel that much of a distance. So it was a little hard to sleep at night because knowing the next day I was traveling that far and like somewhere I'd never been to before, kind of got like the nerves going. But then I woke up the next morning and all that like nervous energy turned into excitement, Like I was just looking forward to it, and I just kind of remembered why I signed up to go there. So like stepped out the house, gave my mom, my sister, my dad, all like hugs saying like, "Hey, I'll see you when I touch down when I get back." Then get driven to the airport. They're still like you know just like showing like those emotions of like, please don't go, like, are you sure you want to go? And I'm like, yeah, I mean, I'm
like while you were already at the airport.
Yeah, because I mean they were not used to me or my sister traveling that far. My parents were, so I could tell they're just be like, no, please don't go, like we want you to stay with us, kind of like that homesick feeling a little bit. But yeah, that was like the ride to the airport. So like I get to the airport, I'm chilling, like everyone meets up there, get our bags checked, got to go through hella security checkpoints, because international travel is like much more like security heavy than domestic. And then we go to our gate, get on the plane. It was actually a pretty like big ass plane, because like how the planes have to have like more accommodations in them when you travel greater distances. That's what it was like.
What they have now?
Oh, what they have on the plane?
Yeah, what's in there? Like, what made it different?
I mean, they had like full like food service, like lots of like TVs with hella channels on them. A lot of like leg room, especially like for us like who are taller, like getting that leg room on a plane is obviously tough. But yeah, there was just hella space, and we just got like full like food service and snacks and other stuff like that. And it was just like we just kind of slept the whole time.
Was it still aisle seating, like 3 people in a row type shit, or did everyone have their own chair?
Oh, it was still like aisle seats. So it was like a section of 3 in the middle, then 2 on either side, But like the main cabinet was like really wide and stuff like that. It was like much wider than like a normal plane.
Anybody bring their dog on the plane?
Oh no.
No animals.
No animals.
How long was the flight?
So I had to fly from San Francisco to Munich in Germany, and then fly from Germany to Cairo. And so the flight from San Francisco to Munich was around 12 hours, and the flight from Munich to Cairo was around 4 hours. So definitely the flight from San Francisco to Munich, as like is longer, so you get bored kind of fast. So you kind of like have to keep yourself occupied in some way, and it can be difficult to like sleep on a plane and stuff. But what I found cool about it was that since we were flying like such a long distance to Germany, I got to see like the sun go down and like come up because we were changing time zones, and I just thought that was like the coolest thing to me, because I was literally like flying through time. So I just thought that was pretty cool.
No, I feel the same way. I had a hypothesis about that shit. Because if you think about it, technically, every time you travel into a different time zone, you time traveling. Like, if I fly to New York and it's a 5-hour flight and I leave at 3 p.m., it should be 8 p.m. when I land, right? Mm-hmm. So why is it 11 p.m. when I land? I just went 3 hours into the future that I shouldn't have. So the flight was technically, if it's a 5-hour flight, the flight was technically only 2 hours.
Well, yeah, yeah. I can definitely see like the traveling through time type of thing, especially since I was traveling such a great distance. I felt like the math was like even more complicated, but the flight like seemed like shorter than it actually was because I was changing time zones like so often.
So take me to first steps in Egypt. Where'd you land?
All right, so we touched down in Cairo. Get off the plane. Just walk to go get our bags. Obviously, got to pass through more security checkpoints, and this was actually funny because I was like passing through a checkpoint, and I show like the TSA agent, if you will, my passport, and then as I'm like continuing through the checkpoints, another TSA agent just yanks me to the side and just like questions me further, and I'm just like confused. I'm like why would they do that? Was there like something on my passport that made them suspicious?
Did you look
or
like an
something?
insurgent?
Oh, what exactly is an insurgent? I've like heard the term a couple times. I just don't know the meaning
Okay.
exactly.
So think back to your time in Egypt. Did you see any guys wearing camo shorts?
Oh, not really.
Basically, it's so. Did you see anybody with big guns walking around in the city?
Not really. Just like the military who was like patrolling like the streets.
See, that means there's insurgents there. There's military patrolling the
Oh.
streets.
Oh, okay.
Insurgents are trying to take down the military.
Oh. Oh, okay. I get
So
it.
I was gonna ask you if you saw any crazy shit. Did you see any bombings? Any?
Oh no, I didn't see any of that. But since it is like a militant country, like the military is like everywhere, like patrolling the streets, and they have like obviously large weapons and everything like that. It's very different than it is here. So like the military has like a much heavier presence there, like especially in the day-to-day aspects of civilian lives much more than here.
Could you fuck with being a civilian over there if that was reality?
Um, I mean, I mean, it's kind of hard to imagine myself kind of in that situation because because their like style of rule is much different than it is here. But
I mean, how so?
I mean because over there it's like a lot more like military focused. It's like run by the military has a large control over like the government's operations much more than here. But I think I could definitely like mess with being a civilian there despite that presence because they're mostly just there to like I guess strike fear in people so that they don't like break the law or like do some stuff that could get them in trouble with the law. So yeah, I think I could be a civilian over there.
Have you ever gotten in trouble with the law?
Oh, never. I've never gotten in trouble with the law.
What's the closest you think like you've gotten in trouble to getting in trouble with the law?
Um, I think the closest I've gotten in trouble with the law was that I I was like I was in college. So like for the everyone who doesn't know, I go to a San Diego State University now, and so like the reputation there is that it's like a party school. There's like a lot of like parties that happen. I guess you could say the closest I've gotten in trouble with the law was that I was like at a gathering down there last semester,
A
and
gathering or a party?
oh yeah, a party.
Okay.
I meant to say. I guess
Like,
gathering was kind of the wrong word.
I mean, like, how many people was there?
It was a good amount, probably like around 50 people in like a small apartment.
All right.
But yeah, and so like everyone's like just like having fun, like drinking, smoking, stuff like that, and then I just look out like one of the windows of the apartment and like I see like flashing lights out there, so I think like the police are out there, and so like when I'm just with my friends, and then and then like I started to get nervous a little bit about like what if they like the police kind of get closer to the action and they like see what's happening. And so I was kind of nervous about that, but then the party just like naturally kind of died down, and me and my friends just kind of escaped from there and just made our next move like seamlessly without having to interact with the police.
Seamlessly. Where was the next move?
So after we were there, we went to another kind of party, but it was much smaller and like much more chill. There weren't as many people there. We were just chilling. Like we were all pretty drunk, so we didn't really do much. We just like walked in and like just chilled, listen to music, just chatted and stuff like that. So we did most of our damage at like the previous location.
The previous location. I never knew that you used any type of substances. Like, when was the first time you got drunk?
Actually, the first time, that I got drunk was actually about a month ago. Like I was just like to myself, hey, I just told myself it's time. Like I kind of like was interested in it for a little bit, but I was always like too scared to, kind of take it on. But then I just told myself that like because a big part of like culture in college is kind of like bonding over like alcohol and stuff like that. So I just said to myself, hey, if I'm going to try, I think I might as well just do it now and just see like what it's like. So I was just like, it's time. And
what's the setting?
So the setting was I was actually just like watching the Super Bowl with my friends, and like they had like,
you were here or you were in SD?
I was in SD. I was watching the Super Bowl with my friends, and they just had like a big ass kind of like box that had beers in it just on our coffee table, and then they just keep looking at me, and I'm like, what? And they kind of like gave me the impression that they wanted me to have a drink. So I just like got it out of the box. I kind of like kind of like teased them a little bit by like kind of putting it up to my lips and putting it back down.
Like a beer?
Yeah, because they knew like my tendency was not to drink alcohol at all, based on how I presented myself to
But like
them.
if you were in a party, you would walk around with like a cup. Would you be the guy to walk around with a cup if you didn't drink?
Yeah, I think so.
You've done it?
Oh, no, I haven't been the person who just like walked around like with a cup, because all like the parties that I've been to, like people are like well aware of like my tendencies of like that I don't drink, so I don't really have to like fake it and stuff like that.
Oh shit.
Yeah, but back to that, I was kind of like teasing him a little bit, just putting it to my lips a couple of times. I could tell they were like hyping me up. They were like, come on, do it. And then I was just like, and then I was just like, here goes nothing. And then I just like, just started. And then after that, I felt like kind of a new person in a sense. I felt like, my friends I was like that one dude who like sits on the end of the bench on the basketball team who finally gets their 1 to 2 minutes in at the end of the game, and they're all like cheering for me, and I was just like, and then I kept going. They were like, yeah. So
how many beers you done till you got drunk the first time?
I actually didn't get drunk off of beer. Like when I did get drunk, I got drunk off of shots and like other stuff. So I was with my friends. We were like pre-gaming a little bit, and like I probably did like 7 shots or 8 shots.
Jesus Christ, you're an animal.
But it was like spaced pretty far apart, because we were there for like about an hour and a half or so. So they weren't very close together. And then we just pulled up, and then I just started, and then people just we're just like walking around. You know how everyone likes at a party likes to like flex their bottles if they got like a good one, like
Yeah.
if they got a good one, like you know,
Yeah.
just walking around like with the Hennessy and stuff like that. So like I would just walk up to like a circle of people talking and there, and then they would just be like, you know, holding out the bottle like if anyone wanted it, and then no one would take the bait. So I just felt like I had to be that person, and then you know I just started doing it, and I just didn't look back, to be honest. So.
So that first night you got loaded, you got drunk as fuck, you went to a party, like classic college night.
Yeah, yeah. I actually didn't like feel it that intensely, to be honest. I feel like because
What was the feeling? Like what were you like? What was going on?
no, like I felt like kind of a spinning sensation in my head a little bit. You know, like when you like run around in circles, or like you know when you were a kid there was like a spinning like ride at like the playground
Yeah.
that you would go on, and then you would get off and you would feel disoriented and your head was like spinning a little bit. That's kind of how I felt. But surprisingly, I what I was still like, you know, able to like navigate and stuff like that. Like I didn't have any problems with like my mobility and like walking around, because I know that can be a problem when someone gets like really drunk. They can't like walk straight, or like they're like very clumsy and bump into people.
Yeah.
But surprisingly to me, I was still able to, you know, like have efficient motor skills and stuff like that, and other things like that. And I think also the reason why I didn't feel it as heavily, this is just a hypothesis, is because I think I'm a pretty good sized dude. Like I'm like 6'2", like 215, 220. So I'm a pretty like good sized dude who can probably take on more than I thought I could.
I mean, it wasn't even more than you thought you could, because you seemed to be like chilling. Like you made it to and from the party, like you was chilling at the party, like you was teed.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, definitely. I was teed because like all the songs that were being played on the aux there were like pretty fire. So I was just turning up and stuff like that. So
So how's the San Diego State culture? No, take me to SD.
all right, so yeah, so as far as you know, like culture down there, like when I say it's definitely known as like, you know, a party school where like a lot of social activities take place. I would say it definitely, you know, lives up to that reputation. Like there's a lot of people who like to get involved in Greek life. There's like, you know, a lot of people who like to skate. There's a lot of chill people. There's a lot of people who are just chill down there. And then there's like kind of those people who are like really well known across campus, like, you know, like Southern California. And then there's like, you know, your Northern California Bay Area population, like me, who's just trying to like familiarize themselves within the area. But when you're there, it's definitely easy to like, you know, meet your people and like find your crowd and everything like that. And I feel like I found my crowd down there just based on people like who live close to me. Like a lot of my good friends down there are all from like Northern California, from the Bay Area.
Did you know your squad before you got to college?
Oh no. It was all created in college. It happened in college. I came in with nobody. So I had to like establish connections once I got there.
Bro, it was about the same for me, bro. I'll tell you, my first day at school, literally, I was sitting in my bed. I had been there for like, my mom had been gone for about 2 hours. I just moved in. I was just staring at the ceiling, just looking at my phone. Like I have nothing to do. I know nobody. So I said, fuck it. I put the phone down, hit the pen 30 times, took a piss, took a shit, walked out. Just said what's up to literally everybody I saw. How did you make friends?
Well, I think the main method, in which I made friends was through my roommates. I actually lucked out this year. I got assigned like 2 roommates who were like just really great people. They're really chill. They're really like sociable, so it's easier for them to make connections. and so I kind of formed my connections and my friend groups through them, because like they started fucking with me like pretty heavily, because they saw that, like, I was kind of like a chill dude who liked a lot of the same things they did. So they just started hanging out with people outside our apartment complex. Then eventually, like, I was brought along as well, and then I started making those connections too.
So you live in a complex or like a dorm?
Oh, I live in an apartment complex. The traditional dorms weren't like the first housing choice for freshmen this year, given COVID, because in the dorms there's a lot of communal spaces, and they obviously don't want students being too much in contact with each other, because that can stimulate the spread. So this year they had freshmen priority housing assigned to apartments, typically where sophomores and upperclassmen live. So I lucked out this year, definitely.
There's no sophomore or upperclassmen?
Oh no, sophomores and upperclassmen lived down there, but with COVID, a lot of them just obviously chose to stay home, or
So you was remote,
yeah,
but you was at school.
yeah,
So it was like it wasn't school.
yeah. I lived there, even though I was taking all online classes, because like I still like wanted to like get that college experience, especially, and I wanted to like acclimate myself to living there and living on campus, because I knew I was going to live on campus my first 2 years.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you want to go?
Um,
I'm saying, why wouldn't you? Like, who the hell wouldn't want to go to their first year of college on campus? It's lit.
yeah, oh yeah, it's definitely lit, but I think for some people it can be like financially difficult, to live down there.
Man, it was for me.
Yeah, I think like finances and like money have obviously been a large obstacle that people have had to overcome, especially during COVID, and I think that the reason why not as many students I would think are usually down there is because like just like finances and money and stuff like that plays a huge role in that.
Fuck it. I say take a loan, man. If you want to go to college and you got the drive to do it, fuck it, take a loan. I did. Shit, I'm gonna be rich one day, so we gonna pay this shit off. I'm like, what, 20,000, bro? What's 20,000, nigga? But I don't know. Shit was definitely tough. It was definitely weird. That's kind of dope. Cause I was going like, never mind. But like, your first day. Was it even really like a first day? Like, was it activities? Like, was people outside?
My first day didn't even feel like a first day. I mean, I just woke up, ate some breakfast, just logged on to my computer, walked out to get food, came back, did some more class, did some work, walked out to get food, and then just came back, ate some more food, and then just did some more homework and went to sleep. It didn't even feel like a first day, because we were so limited in what we could do and how we could interact with others, and I didn't really have my connections like set out there yet. So it was definitely hard, like, in the beginning, because I'm not the most outgoing or like extroverted personality, so it's naturally harder for me to forge connections with other people. But despite the fact that it's taken me so long, I feel like I've established some good connections with some great people, and I'm happy that I have those connections now, and that they're stable.
Did you see any crazy animals in Egypt?
So the funny thing about going there is like house pets like we have here in the States, like dogs and cats and stuff like that. Those in Egypt are equivalent to like squirrels. They're like everywhere, especially in natural settings.
Like, you seen wild dogs?
Oh yeah, I saw some wild dogs there, and I saw like a lot of stray cats and stray dogs that were there, because dogs and cats aren't really house pets over there like they are here.
Were they moving in packs and shit?
Oh no, a lot of them were solitary. And when we were actually at one of when we were actually visiting a temple at one of the places we went to. This is like right as like, COVID was starting to gain traction worldwide, and like nobody knew, how it could be spread or how it can be transmitted. We're just at we're just at a temple, and then like we just see like a stray cat just come walking through, and then we're all like backing away from it because like we don't know if it could transmit COVID to us. And then two people in our group just like go up and start petting it, and we're like, oh, what the hell are you doing? Like, are you trying to get all of us sick and stuff like that?
So did y'all have a full trip?
Yeah, we were lucky to have a full trip because right around our second night there, that's when like COVID was blowing up like worldwide, and like everyone was like getting sick, and large amounts of people were getting sick. And so our chaperone, which was the principal of our school, just like pulled us all like into like a meeting room within our hotel, and he was just like, so do you guys want to go home or not, because this situation is looking to be very precarious and something we have to handle with caution. And then all of us just voted unanimously like, no, we want to stay here because we know we can like have a great like fulfilling experience and still make it home safe. And luckily, we were able to, and we all made it home safely, and none of us got sick.
What monuments? You see, like, what did you go and see? Like, what was the move?
Like, are you talking like monuments
anything.
Specifically? Oh yeah, definitely.
Best moments, best hits. Egypt's best hits.
Egypt's best hits. Okay, I got you. Pyramids of Giza.
Oh.
Sphinx. Riding on a camel in the desert where the pyramids are.
Did you ride on a camel to the Sphinx?
Oh no. Riding on the camel was like a completely different thing. So we went, saw the pyramids, saw the Sphinx, and then we went to a spot in the desert that's not too far from where they are, and rode a camel for like about a half mile in the desert where we could see the pyramids.
How big are the motherfuckers? Like, what would you compare the size to?
I would compare the size of a camel to like.
No, not a camel. I know how big a camel is. Are the pyramids of Giza like bigger than Oracle Arena?
Oh yeah, in terms
one pyramid, is it bigger than Oracle?
Yeah, in terms of height, they're pretty big, especially when you go and you see them in person, you realize like how big they are. But yeah, they're pretty massive.
Would one slab be bigger than you? Like that one slab of brick that they use to. Would you think it'd be bigger than you?
No, I don't think it would be bigger than me because they had to use a lot of like slabs of brick to build it up. But the slabs, I would say, if you stood it up straight, would probably go from my foot to around my knee or my thigh.
See, I'm a part of the group of individuals that I'm not quite sure how them shits was built. I think there was definitely some intervention. I'm not saying by what or by who, but it's too big for the fact that people weren't supposed to be able to do that. Either we de-evolved, had like a super big dark age after like that period, after the Roman shit, we went dark age and came back. For real, like a super dark age. But I don't believe that shit. So it was I don't know. Did you go inside?
So yeah, I actually got a chance to go inside one of the pyramids. It was like it was like all underground. So the stairs we had to walk down just went straight down, and the ceiling of the pyramid was literally right above our heads. So we had to like, as we're walking down, kind of bend over and crouch down. So we wouldn't like.
It was small. This is small.
Yeah. Yeah, so we wouldn't hit our heads like on the ceilings.
How would you say like the stairs slope? Was it like a typical mall ramp, or was it like damn near like straight down?
Oh no, it was like a typical mall ramp. It just felt steeper just because we had to be crouched down and like bent over the whole time so that we wouldn't hit our heads on the ceilings, because where the ceiling was and where the stairs was were like pretty close together.
So you've witnessed a hieroglyphic.
Mm-hmm. I saw hieroglyphic. I've witnessed and seen hieroglyphics at many places there where I was.
That's some wicked shit, bro.
Yeah, I have a lot of pictures on my phone too.
Like, a lot of people will never do that. Billions of people will never do that. That's pretty wicked.
Yeah, yeah. It is pretty crazy that I got to experience that, and I'm grateful that I got to have that experience, and it's definitely something that I'm gonna cherish with me for the rest of my life because it definitely like kind of changed my view on the world.
How so?
Well, I feel like me going there just made me, feel even more grateful for, how I've lived my life in a sense because like a lot of people there they have to like survive on not as much as we have to survive on per day, so that really like kind of changed how I view my life. Like I can recount one specific experience that actually kind of caused that shift in thinking for me. So one day we were like staying on the boat like that I mentioned earlier because we took a boat up the Nile River, and we were docked at a port, and early the next morning we took like a smaller boat across the river to a Nubian village that had been there for centuries. And so like we get off the boat and we walk into the village, and there's like families and children and like all different kinds of shops there. And there's like a lot of camels because a lot of people use them as transportation. And so we actually got to walk into one of the oldest houses there and meet a family who lives there, and we saw like their house and what they live with and how much they live on every day, and the fact that they were able to like still like survive and still persevere while not living on as much just made me feel like, hey, I should really be grateful for what I have. So
So going into someone's house in Egypt is an attraction?
um
Was it like part of the attraction, or did y'all just kind of knock like, yo?
oh no, it was part of the attraction. It wasn't spontaneous at all. It was like part of the attraction.
I, that feels kind of fucked up to me, like in a way, marketing that. Like, I guess niggas is really struggling for real, but if I'm struggling, goddamn, you're not bringing no fucking camera in the crib. Like, if I'm living in New York in a closet-sized apartment with roaches and rats in my shit, we could take a picture while I'm standing on the bed so there's no rats and roaches in the corner, but you're not gonna come in with a video camera.
Yeah, yeah.
It feels kind of exploited to me. I feel like you didn't feel those vibes initially, and I didn't mean to spring those onto you.
Oh no, it's all good. It's all good. Yeah. But yeah, I just felt like I was kind of taking in the experience there, but like the family like who was there, I don't think they seem to like mind it that much. But yeah, I can definitely see where you're coming from. Like I definitely like understand like your perspective for sure.
So, in what ways have you changed the way you're living in response to that specific interaction?
I think the main way in which I've kind of changed how I live is like being less compulsive to like buying stuff that like I don't really need, like whether it be like clothes and shoes or stuff like that, because I realize like already have like a lot and already have plenty, so I don't really need more.
Dumbest impulse purchase.
Let's see. Okay, I felt like the dumbest impulse purchase was like I bought a pair of shoes that were like retail like $250. There were some Jordans. I thought they would resell for like thousands of dollars, and then they just been kind of like sitting in my closet literally to this day. So that's definitely a purchase I regret.
What are they?
There's some Jordan 5 metallics.
Oh, I kind of like those. The Nike on the back?
Yeah,
What size?
13.
Damn. You got a big ass foot, dude. I'm really a 11 and a half. maybe you put a 12 on me, it'll fit a little big. Can't do 13. Maybe my little brother though. I'll hit him up see if he wants it.
For sure, for sure.
It's sick though how the sneaker game is just kind of weird nowadays. You notice like the resale game, the sneaker game, like everything isn't the same as it was at the start of high school. You know,
Oh yeah.
like because I'm looking around at the market and it used to be like my freshman year, sophomore year, with Supreme drop, everything sold out. The whole site sold out. And you could damn near make 15, $20 on anything you post up. Or even in 8th grade, any foam posit that would drop would sell out instantly. You had to be on the phone, like foams and shit, Jordans.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't even really sell that anymore.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I would definitely say the shoe market and like the shoe game has definitely evolved a lot now that like celebrities, athletes, like towering figures in the music industry are especially like getting involved by creating their own shoes. It's kind of made it more exclusive because those shoes like retail for a lot higher and sell for a lot higher, so it's kind of only limited to like a select few, and then everyone just everyone uses bots and like tries to cheat their way around like purchasing everything manually, so it kind of makes it unfair a little bit. Like because I know back in like freshman year, 8th grade, like we didn't know much about like bots and stuff like that, so everyone just had like a fair shot, and like it would always be exhilarating because like me and all my friends would just log onto the site at the same time and like see if we could get anything. But now it's kind of like guaranteed to sell out once we like log onto the site.
I think the PS5 really proved that shit. Like how crazy the bot game has got.
Mm-hmm.
Because I manual all my shit. I'm manual in everything I've ever copped, right? I'm not the biggest clothes guy anymore. I sold like most of my shit, most of my branded shit. But I'm a manual hunter, bro. My checkout speed is 6, 5, 7 seconds, bro. You can clock me. I'm really like that. Like I'm really like that. Just if the only thing I gotta put in this is a security code, bro, give me 7 seconds flat. I'm like Usain Bolt. That's why it's just enough time I need. What did Bolt set the record with? 7:63?
Yeah.
I'm faster than that. So it's just sick. Like I was trying to buy. I was fucking manualing a box logo, bruh. 6, 8 checkout, and I couldn't get it. That doesn't make any logical sense. I'm not pissed off right now. Yeah, I am. But like, why though? Why do you think this shit has changed like this, Toby?
I think it's changed like this because more and more people have realized the like economic value of getting involved in stuff like that because they've realized that it's an easy, quick way to like make profit like on the side for what from what their like main profession in life is. So it's kind of a side hustle, as you said, if you will.
So you're saying that, all right, I can see your hypothesis making 1,000 correct sense. So you're saying the reason why the sneaker game has changed is because the adults with the bread are now tuned into this market.
Yeah,
I see that.
Yeah, I think so too because the younger generation like really kind of hopped on the wave first, and now it's kind of made its way to like the older generations as well, and they've kind of figured out how it works and like the economics involved in it.
Especially with the clothes.
Yeah,
Because the clothes was the one thing the old heads couldn't touch. We all know an old head that will walk around with the flyest J's on ever, but like the loosest jeans, like the sagging fucking cargo shorts.
Lucky brand jeans.
Lucky brand jeans and shit, bruh. The like camo cargos with the no offense to my people who wear the belt. You know the belt that you gotta pull through the loop and shit?
Yeah.
You wearing that fucking belt, bro, with like a ripped Aeropostale baseball cut shirt. Like that's who look like a Puerto Rican uncle, bro. Like I don't. And now your theory makes sense. Now I think about it, it makes perfect sense because people's just like it sucks. The culture is down. Sneaker game is gentrified, my nigga. They gentrified the shit. It's all for profit now. Like it's not for fun. Like it's not for swag.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I feel like the motivation to make profit and like the motivation of money is kind of like what's made it so attractive to people nowadays, rather than just like getting a shoe and like becoming immersed in like the history of the shoe and like what and like its significance to like particular athletes or like particular events. It's all just kind of been taken over by this money mindset.
So take me back to the end of Egypt, the start of COVID. Like, how was your re and re-entrance
Oh,
to society?
so you're talking about my journey back from there to the States?
Not just like your, cause you say like COVID shit started going downhill, but Egypt was a high point.
Mm-hmm.
So like, take me back to your first few weeks in COVID. Like,
Well, first few weeks in COVID, obviously, I get home, like I arrive home from Egypt, and it's like really starting to peak and like blow up among societies all over the world. And like when I get home, like from the airport, I vividly remember, like I walk through the airport. I walked out to like the ground transportation. When you get picked up to go home, and like my mom and my sister are standing there with a sign that says welcome home, Toby, and they're all like run up to me, and they want to give me a hug. But like I'm so scared, about this virus because we have minimal information to go off of. And I'm just like, no, get away from me. I'm scared that I'm going to give this to you. Like I was genuinely like that because I was so adamant about being safe and keeping my family safe. I was so adamant, about keeping my family safe, and like they all just like wanted to give me a hug, and I'm just like resisting the whole time. I'm like, hey, I don't think you should do this, like, and it was hard because I had just gotten back, from 10 days being halfway across the world, and so like when I'd imagine like when you're a parent and like you have like a kid who like comes back from being away in a faraway place for so long, your first inclination, is to hug them in a sense, and to like have to do that just to keep my family safe. I mean, now that I look back on it, it was like kind of hard.
so you didn't hug your mom?
No, no.
That's all right. I mean, I'm not. I just had to. The elephant was in the room. So how long did you go without hugging your moms?
Oh, I mean, it
was
was
like a day.
yeah, just like a day. I was just in that moment. I was just so scared.
I get it.
Because like we knew nothing about what the virus was capable of and like how it could be spread.
No, I came home from COVID on some fuck COVID. Like I came home. I'm not gonna hold you. The first few weeks, I didn't know where to find a mask, so I was just kind of anti-masking it. I was seeing half the people was starting to walk around with masks, half wasn't, and I was one of them that wasn't. I was on some fuck COVID. I won't hold you. I'm still questioning the validity of the virus. Hopefully, me saying that hasn't offended you, but I don't know. I haven't got the shit. I'm definitely a masker now. I walk around. I'm a masky boy. Were you terrified in the streets?
Well, obviously, I was terrified like as it started to develop because I didn't have much information to go off about it, so that just motivated me to like be ultra safe and take all the like extra precautions that we would kind of look back on now and say, hey, you don't have to do all that because the vaccines are starting to get distributed and everyone's like starting to build up immunity to it. But definitely in the first few weeks, I mean, every time I would like go out to get groceries and brought them home, I would have to take like every single grocery out of the bag and like scrub and like wipe them down with two wipes like on each one because like me and my family were just so scared about the virus's capabilities.
That's sus. So take me back to school, bro. You got any chick stories?
Well, well, I mean, not like intense, but like at school. So like around November, my roommate comes up to me and he's like, hey, I met these two girls and like they're really into football and like I just get excited.
Your nephew?
Oh no, my roommate.
Oh, I thought you.
Oh, it's all good. Yeah, so like being down at college, it was really clutch that I had you know the NFL Sunday Ticket app that
Yeah.
lets you like stream all the games. Like I was hyped that I got that because like I really like football and like I could watch all the games. And so one Sunday I'm just watching all the games and my roommate comes up to me and he's like, yo, I met these two girls and like they're really into football. They're gonna come through to the crib to watch, and I'm like, bet. And so like we come through and just watch the games, and that was kind of like a tradition, like from there all the way until the end of the semester, because we went on break and then we came back, but we still continue the tradition, like watching the playoff games in the Super Bowl.
Were y'all fucking with the girls, or were they just like homies, just a gang?
They're just like homies,
That's chill.
they're definitely people I would consider like close friends now.
Gang.
And it was very nice that like we kind of bonded over like the common activity, like watching football, because like we're all like really into it. So
Yeah, you wouldn't really expect a girl to like watch football. It's not really a thing you. I mean, call it sexist, but it is what it is.
yeah, but yeah, I think that's like a common like conception of you know like of like you know not not being heavily invested in it, but like when I met them, they're like really like into it and stuff. Like they kind of knew the game very well, like knew a lot of the players, and like I was hyped because like obviously like I'm a big football fan, and so I know like
Who you root for?
Raiders.
Okay, well, all right, okay. If you would have said you was a Niners fan, I would have cut this shit off right now. But I could fuck with the Raiders, you know. I could fuck with the Raiders. The first Raiders game, or one of the first I ever went to, AP damn near ran for 265, and not 265. It might have been like 260 or something, and like 2 or 3 touchdowns, or it was 200 something yards. He had a crazy game. So fuck. I mean, I can't even say fuck the Raiders. We got a dub on y'all. My first game I ever went there. So I fuck with the Raiders.
Yeah, actually, I think I might know the game you're referencing. I remember watching it on TV, and I remember like the announcer was like, Adrian Peterson is loose, and then he just like started like saying like it's gonna be a touchdown Vikings and stuff like that. Like I vividly remember like watching, I think, the game you're referencing on TV.
It was a lit day, man, for sure.
Oh yeah, going to Raiders games definitely like is like kind of its own atmosphere. Like you're surrounded by like passionate fans. Everyone's going crazy. Everyone's yelling. So
You
it's
think it's
definitely
still gonna be like that in Vegas?
in Vegas. I mean,
Like when the shit opens up, do you think the real Raider fans are going to Vegas?
um, well, I think Raiders fans will still like show up in Vegas, but I think kind of like the tradition of like the black hole and like and like everyone like going all out that was really established in Oakland will kind of like be watered down a little bit, just given the fact that like the stadium is brand new and it's like very nice. So and like the Coliseum was like kind of a legendary place that was like having some wear and tear on it and stuff like that, but it was still a place where the fans could like really go all out for their team. But I still think the fan base will hold strong in Vegas because I mean Raider Nation is worldwide. Like they have like a pretty strong fan base.
I'm a Vikings fan, but I personally think this player is overrated. I think he's not better than Kirk Cousins. I think he's proven nothing. I think the comparisons between him and Michael Jordan was false and fugazi. But the Raiders are in a weird position, right? Because they got Derek Carr. He's like on the outside of the top 10 or 12, but it's the low end of the top 10 or 12.
Mm-hmm.
And you got Deshaun Watson and Russell Wilson. How much are you, like, if you were playing GM right now, what are you willing to give up for either one of those two? Watson or Wilson? And which one would you rather have?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of mock trade proposals, so I see where you're coming from. But if I was in that position, I think out of the two, I would want to acquire Deshaun Watson. Like, no disrespect to Russell Wilson. Like, Russell Wilson's a great quarterback, and he's obviously a great athlete. But like, he's like kind of getting older, and like Deshaun Watson is, I think, already one of the most talented quarterbacks in the league, and he's only 25. So I think I would want to go after Deshaun Watson, and if I were to assemble a trade, I would probably offer a car, two, no, three first round picks, a second round pick, and another player for Watson.
Another good player, or just a bench filler?
Like a
Salary player.
Yeah, like a serviceable starter type of player.
Okay. I think that's too much, honestly, for the show. I mean, I don't know. Call me a hater. I don't see it. I just don't. This year showed a lot for me about Deshaun Watson. Tell me he didn't have offensive line. I don't really care. Tell me he didn't really have a defense. I don't really care. Kirk Cousins had the same problems and just happened to have a better record. Like, and you can say Deshaun Watson doesn't have Justin Jefferson and Thielen, but Will Fuller ain't bad. Brandon Cooks isn't trash. They're not bad. They're big contract guys. I don't get it. Why can't he win?
Well, obviously, like in the NFL world, a lot of the blame was like kind of put on the decisions made by their GM, you know, of trading Hopkins, and all of that. But yeah, I feel like he definitely like still had some receivers who could make plays. Like you said, Will Fuller's like a speedy receiver. Like he's very fast, and Cooks is kind of the same way where he's fast and can like open up the defense. But it's just like I feel like this with the Raiders sometimes, when like a team has a chance to win, but then it's like those 1, 2, 3, 4 plays that don't go exactly how they go, and it just defines the whole game.
That's the Raiders in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Your secondaries have one bad, just really awful 60, 50, 40-yard touchdown, and that'll be that. You'll lose by 7 or lose by 4. It'll just be bullshit.
Exactly. I have to say probably one of the most heartbreaking games that I had to watch as a Raiders fan was when they played the Dolphins this year. Like you remember, you know, on like the second to last play where like Fitzpatrick gets his helmet yanked back and he still like completes a 30-yard pass down the field, like at a 15-yard penalty, they kick the field goal to win the game. They were in the red zone like 4 times that game and like only scored 1 touchdown, and they lost by 1 at the end of the game. They could have easily won by like 14 points.
They're my dark horse pick last year to make the playoffs. I damn near my dark horse Super Bowl if they got in. Just, I mean, I really believe only because I drafted Josh Jacobs in fantasy, and I believe if you're gonna have a good season in fantasy, you have to have a personal attachment to your players. So like, I didn't miss a Raiders game. Like, the Raiders play with heart. I fuck with the Raiders. Y'all just sold a lot. Like, sold a lot. Losing the close ones, like. Not losing the easy ones, not even the close ones. You lose the easy ones. Almost sold it to the Jets. Almost didn't even go 8-8.
Yeah, we could have easily had a losing record this year, and it was like kind of the same story as last year. This year, you know, they last year started 6-4, lost like 5 of their final 6 games, finished 7-9. This year, it was kind of like the same story. Started 6-3 and lost two of their last 8 to go 8-8.
Is the problem Carr or Gruden?
Oh wait, my bad. 2 of their last 7. I just realized I did that math wrong. I mean, I think Carr is like performed at a high level given like all the roster and all the given the roster reshuffling that's taken place around him. I think Gruden's decision making is really like where I kind of raise my eyebrows a little bit because he's made some like really questionable decisions. I would say about the team.
What's your major?
Oh, in college?
Yeah.
Political science.
Political science. What do you want to be?
Ideally, I would want to like be a lawyer just cause my mom and dad both do it and I feel my interest in like politics and government would like serve me well in that field.
Okay, I'll fuck with that. What type of lawyer?
Well, my dad works in a criminal defense and like my mom is an attorney, but I like my dad's kind of career path because it involves like a lot of argumentation skills and a lot of uses of like past examples, like past cases and stuff like that, and I really developed an interest in that, so I would probably want to follow along that similar line of kind of criminal defense.
Hotshot upstart, criminal defense lawyer, young Toby Burack, coming out of Harvard Law, swinging. I don't know if the floor is really ready for you, like, but it's a lot of baggage that comes with that. Say they put a pedophile in front of you, are you taking that case?
Um, I mean, I think I would. It's just based on kind of like the evidence they've gathered from the crime that kind of I would say that kind of defines the approach that the lawyer takes to defend their client.
So if you had a chance to win, you'll take any case.
Um, I'm I mean it's like tough, especially like in that profession, and like a lot of work has to be done. But if it's like a case that I can like work hard at and like maybe have a chance of like winning, then I'll take it. Or like just like any case like that I'm offered and like someone wants to hire me and like give me an opportunity, like I'll take it.
Yeah, I think if you put a case in me, you put a case in front of me, I'm playing lawyer. If I got a 60% chance of winning, I'll do it. Fuck it. Or even give me any chance. I'm a competitive motherfucker. That just showed me the competitive spirit. That's all I was really looking for. Because I feel like in the lawyer field, you got to have a little bit of a competitive edge. You have to be vindictive for sure. Or else even the judge won't even believe what the fuck you're saying. The jury won't hear you. The judge won't hear you. You got to have some vindictiveness about you. I'm taking any case they put in front of me, I got a chance of winning. But here's the scenario for you. You have a case where you know that you're dealing with a sickly, perverted individual who, in the case they're being alleged of, actually committed the acts, but you knew that with your skills and with the evidence you collected, you could easily beat the case. Are you taking it because it comes with the bigger bag too? Like double the rate for your usual case. He's charging you you're charging him 200 every 30 minutes instead of 100. You know your rate's pretty high. 100 every 30 minutes. You got to pay it or get lost. So.
I mean, it's tough. I mean, I obviously like don't have like all the knowledge in the world about like that particular profession. I just know that like if you're I kind of get the sense that like if you're in that profession, like whenever you're given an opportunity to represent somebody, I mean, you're going to take it because with that representation, like you'll make your income.
I fuck with it. I mean, it's just a part of the job at that point.
Yeah.
The morals get questionable, but everything everyone does in my eyes is morally ambiguous. Like eating food for ourselves, having more food in the fridge. A homeless person would call that shit morally ambiguous. An entitled person would call that lazy. So it's about perspective. Mm-hmm. I mean, I stand with you on that. A lot of people I feel would disagree with your stance on that because you know how people are. People Just wait to see the right thing get done. But the right thing in your eyes is getting a meal on the table for your family. They're charging double the rate. How you not gonna take that case? Win or lose, you're getting double the rate in lawyer fees. Fuck it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and also I think like that kind of is like a big conundrum when you kind of choose a career path. Like, are you doing it just cause like like for the money, or like when are you doing it like because you genuinely enjoy it? And hopefully like my goal in life when I'm at that stage is that I'm able to do something that gives me enough to provide for my family and makes me happy too. So
I definitely could be a lawyer, but just if I could get to the. Your parents are lawyers. How much paperwork do they got to do?
like by what kind of paperwork do you mean? Like taxes?
No, not taxes, but like work paperwork. Like,
Oh,
do they have to
paper.
sift through a lot of papers and stuff?
Oh yeah, especially my dad. My dad often has a lot of paperwork to read and like a lot of stuff to read through.
That's the only problem for me. If I could make it to the top, where you're one of those lawyers with a huge team behind you, and you're just the face, and you go out there and you point fingers and you wear a cool suit and shit.
Were you
That's
kind of
me.
like we kind of like call the plays in a sense?
Kinda, yeah. I'm definitely. I'm starting to see myself more in the work field in kind of like a manager sense. Like I'm either gonna be managing myself or I'm gonna have to have a team. I'm gonna have a team whether I'm doing my own thing or not. But I definitely work better as a manager and less as a worker because I feel like I could put people in the right place to succeed. So if you put a case in front of me and I got the team I want and I can tell people to do this, this, and that, they put the information in front of me. I'm just going to take that, put it to another level and do that. But to be a lawyer, you got to do the grunt work first. I think that's the only thing I couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
You got to, I mean, with anything, you're going to have to do the grunt work and put your head down. I'm learning that. But lawyer is definitely a few years process, a lot of years process. Like by the time you're starting to get them checks, you're honestly gonna be at the perfect age, but you're gonna feel like you're behind.
Mm-hmm.
Don't feel like you're behind. Because when people are getting $60,000, $70,000 checks and you're grinding, you're gonna come out making like 120 when you hit the firm.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's the only problem is probably public perception for me and just the grunt time. And you never know.
Mm-hmm.
Could you see yourself living in a big city or a small town after this?
I feel like I would want to live in like a city or like a big city just because like that's the life I'm used to, being from the Bay Area. I live in a big city where I'm surrounded by people of all different cultures, all different walks of life, and I just feel like the diversity in where I live is very important to me. So I think like cities have more to offer in that department. So I would definitely see myself living in a big city if I were to like move out of the Bay Area and kind of establish my own life like after college.
No, I never told you, but if you wanted to ask me any questions, you could do as always you want. I'm just kind of just pushing shit forward.
All right, for sure, for sure.
But did you see any monkeys in Egypt, man?
Not a lot.
No monkeys?
Not really.
Wasn't Aladdin set in Egypt?
I don't know where it was set exactly. I don't think it was there.
I mean, if Aladdin went to a pyramid at the start of the movie, maybe I don't know. Was there sand in the streets?
Not in like the main cities. The main cities were like paved streets. It's just when we were in like
No sand.
no, when we were like in the more like desert areas, that's where a lot more sand was.
Was there a Muslim presence over there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Egypt is a country that is a majority Islam, so there's definitely like a large Muslim presence there.
Did you see a lot of women's ankles in Egypt? Did you see a lot of ankle? Like from the Muslim women, like were they in full garb, or was it kind of modernized? That modern shit.
So like over there, like the like appearance and like the way people are supposed to dress is especially strict on women. So they'll have to like cover up like a lot of parts of their body because the religion is like so strict about like how women should appear. But like in terms of like like did you say like ankles?
Ankles, yeah.
I mean, to be honest, I wasn't really paying attention to that as much.
Okay. I honestly can get down with that. If they're like your woman got to cover up and shit, I don't I don't see why people have a problem with that. Maybe if they have a problem with that, like the ladies have a problem with that, that's fucked up. But as a man, I mean, if I got a beautiful woman, fuck it. You walking out the house with a fucking with the robe and shit, with the robe and the headscarf and shit on, nobody's gonna see you. Like, if like why? I mean, I get showing off your woman. I love showing off my woman, but fuck it, bro. I don't need everybody looking at my chick. That shit is weird. What do you think?
Um,
Cause
wh-
I've been thinking about Islam for a second, bro.
I mean, Islam. I like is definitely a religion with a lot of strict practices within it, and I feel like it's kind of I feel like the way you kind of like I feel like in the world when you want to like when you want to like have people like kind of comply with certain things you want to like strike fear in them, and so I think that kind of like makes people want to like follow like those rules even more.
Believe it or not, I could see you being Muslim. I could see it. You definitely have the what it takes. I could see it. Are you religious?
Um, so I come from a Jewish family, but like I haven't my my like that's my dad's side of the family, but my dad hasn't like been as strong with like kind of enforcing like the traditional like practices. Like we do like celebrate like Hanukkah and like all the traditional holidays and stuff like that, but in terms of like following like all the other practices and like observances, we aren't as strict on that as maybe like other Jewish families are.
How was your bar mitzvah? Did you have one?
I haven't had one. Yeah, but all my cousins did though. I got to go to all those. They were pretty fun.
That's chill. I just, what always took me back about the bar mitzvah was just how much was there. Like it was a whole spectacle. It was an event. I've only been to two in my life, and each time I went, like there was a whole table with a million gifts and shit. And you walk in that bar mitzvah with nothing in your pocket. You walk out like a rich man, like it was the best day ever. Did you not have one because your parents didn't believe in having one, or because you personally chose not to?
Oh, it's not that I personally chose not to, or like my parents like weren't as invested in it. I think my dad just like never really put that much pressure on us to have one, and so I guess my sister and I weren't really like that pressed to have one, because my dad was like really chill about whether he wanted to have one or not. So it was like mostly like on my sister and I, and so we just kind of like pushed it to the side. But then we find out that a lot of people have them like much later in their lives, so it's not like all hope is lost. It's just
So the mitzvah's coming.
yeah, hopefully soon. Yeah, definitely.
So are you strong in Jewish faith?
I wouldn't say that I'm as strong in the faith as other people were, but it's it's like who I like come from and like who I identify with, and like it was especially like the faith was especially like emphasized in my dad's family, especially like when he was growing up with like my grandparents and like my dad's grandparents or my great grandparents, they kind of like push like the agenda and like emphasize the faith a lot more than what my dad and his family does now.
Do you think you're gonna have the Jewish faith in your child's life?
Yeah, I would definitely pass on the traditions to like my family's life. Like if I I were to start a family, just cause like my dad kind of kind of taught me a lot about it, and like my grandparents, sadly both of them are no longer with us, taught me a lot about it.
Rest in peace.
So I think just like because of that, I would want to pass on the traditions to like the next generation, just because I know that's what my grandparents and my dad would want me to do, kind of like carrying on the legacy, if you will.
What were some greatest hits? Grandparents' greatest hits. Wisest moments, greatest hits. Any lessons learned?
Oh yeah, I have some of those. So I remember both my grandparents lived in New York City, and so
We're in New York.
Manhattan on the
Okay.
up on the Upper West Side, if you know where that is.
Nope.
Yeah, yeah, but they both lived in Manhattan. So throughout my life, I've gotten to travel there a lot, and my dad is also from New York, from the Bronx. So I've gotten to travel to New York a lot throughout my life, and so probably my greatest hits was that one time when my sister and I were little, like we went to my grandfather's apartment, and it was like a big ass apartment, like lots of floors, and there was like a pool like on the
Oh
very top
shit.
floor,
Pops is having it.
and all that. And so like my sister and I were just swimming in the pool, and like my grandmother just came over to like the edge of the pool, like to like check on us, and like we like grabbed her and like shoved her in the pool and stuff like that. Yeah, my sister and I were definitely mischievous when we were younger. And also at that same pool, a few years later, my sister and I were like running around like the pool deck, and you know how like when you're often like not supposed to run around the pool deck because it gets wet and stuff like that, but we didn't care, and like we were running, and like my sister like slips and like hits like the hard like concrete pavement like face first, and like chips her tooth.
Oh shit.
and and so yeah, there were definitely some memories at that pool.
Nah, that's my biggest fear at the pool. Cause I used to be the guy that would run around and shit. But one time I was running around, I might have been in L.A. I was in L.A. It was a weird day. Funny enough, like my mom, I guess, was down there for a work trip, and like these people took us to like this Wolfgang Puck shit, and then they asked us, they're like, "What do you want?" And then my brother like asked for a guitar, and I like asked for some dumb shit, and they literally gave it to us. Like my little brother literally got an electric guitar. But we're like by the pool after we got these gifts, and then I was just getting out, running over to get some French fries, and like it was damn near like a Mario banana. Like I just was damn near just sliding on like the heel of my foot like a fucking Healy, like trying not to fall. And I didn't fall, but I'm definitely scared of running around on that wet pavement.
Yeah, definitely. I think like kind of seeing that happen to my sister, like her tooth was chipped, like her top lip was all swollen up. That definitely struck fear in me to not run around the pool deck. And like when I was younger, like the lifeguards would notice and like yell at me like no running, and so that kind of like struck a little fear in me. But yeah, that definitely some fond memories for sure.
Best hits on God. What's the nastiest shit you seen in New York?
Well, I would say I haven't seen like a lot of things that were like really like attention grabbing, but I would say probably to fit that description, like I was riding the subway, and then a dude just like walked in, like how the subway like stops really frequently because like all the stations are close together. Like we just like rode like from one stop to another stop, and then a dude just like walks on the subway and then like the doors close and then he just turns around on the doors and just starts taking a piss like on the subway car.
That's and you were just like looking at his dick. His dick was just hanging
Oh
out.
oh no. I wasn't looking. Like as soon as like I knew he was.
Could you have seen it? If you had turned around, could you have seen it?
Oh no.
That's okay.
Because like he was like facing the door, completely like pressed against the door. So it's like as soon as like me, my dad, and my sister saw it, we just like switched cars.
Okay. That's definitely sus. I can't really. I've only been there twice, so not really nothing too sus. But I did like one time I came back into my boy's crib, my boy's condo apartment building, and it just smelled like mad piss, just piss. Like people just be pissing. I don't blame them though. Like there's no like real trees and shit dug behind and piss. There's no real like secluded areas. So fuck it. I mean, piss wherever. By all means, I've done it. Piss inside, but I mean, I couldn't really piss in the stairwell I walk on. That's some disgusting shit. Mm-hmm. What's the most disgusting shit you've ever done?
Ever done?
Like shit that just disgusted you. Like maybe not other people, but like you specifically.
Probably like when I was little. Now that I look back on it, like I was with my grandparents on my mom's side in Florida because like both of them live in Florida, so I was visiting them and we like went to the beach for a full day and like I was like swimming around in the water and like I rolled around like in the sand, got all sandy and like I didn't like wash. You know how at the beach there's like little shower stations where you can like wash the sand off you. I chose to like forego that completely, like just like ride all sandy like back to their house just because like I was like a little kid and like I just like went on the bed I was sleeping in and took like a 3 hour nap while I was just like covered in sand and stuff. Like I didn't shower or anything, and like now when I look back on that really grosses me out.
Me, I only asked you that question so I can get this off my chest. The grossest shit I ever did, bro. No offense to fat bitches, bro, but one day we was at college, right? We was at school, and my man's was trying to mess with this girl, right? So he was trying to mess with this girl, and then I guess he started having like her friends come through, and then the friends was coming through, whatever. And everybody was paired up with a chick or whatever, but like they tried to put me on the fat chick. So the fat chick is feeling me, and I'm on some what the fuck, like get away from me type shit. And we at Walmart or whatever, so I really only have to interact with her ass like that. So we just chilling. We at Walmart. We go back to the room, right? We go back to the room. I'm on my chill. So we smoke like 2-3 spliffs. We're watching, and then I'm like, fuck it, let's watch Shrek. They put Shrek on Hulu. I had the Hulu with no ass. We watching Shrek, right? I'm sitting where I'm sitting now, and you're sitting where you're sitting right now. But replace yourself with her, right? So she's sitting where you're sitting, right? Mm-hmm. Tell the podcast we're a decent distance away. Like, about how far away are we?
I would say we're about like social distancing distance away, around 6 feet.
About 6 to 8 feet, I'd say. So, because believe me, this shit was not my idea. So I'm sitting there watching Shrek. Imagine you, Toby, like stretched your legs out and started trying to like, but like your legs, like your feet could touch me, and you're like using you're like curling your toes on my back in a way to try to like pull yourself closer to me, like you're inching closer to me using your feet, and you're like pulling on my back to get closer. So that was sus, right? I'm sitting there, she's pulling on my back, it's getting suspect. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I'm like, fuck it, we watch Shrek. She gets mad close to me, right? I'm sitting there like this. You know how I like to sit with my hands next to my fucking side. I'm sitting at the edge of my homie's bed watching Shrek. She pulls herself mad close to me, right? Puts her blanket around me, and then grabs my hand and sticks that shit up her vagina. Now I start like at this point, bro. Like she puts my fingers up her shit, and I'm like, for the people that can't see me, bro, nobody can see me. I'm like just making a blank face. I'm like, what the fuck? But I'm like, bro, fuck it. She got me this far, bro. I didn't know what was happening, so I did it, bro. I fingered her, and it was sus. And afterwards, I like damn near ran out the room. It was only for like 2 minutes. I was sus. I was scared, and then like, I'm not gonna hold you, bro. That night, I washed my hands like 50 times probably. But for the whole week, I just kept smelling some shit in my upper lip, my upper lip, my upper lip. I was like, what the? I was like, do y'all smell that shit? Like, I was literally going crazy at the end of my room. I was like, are y'all smelling that shit, my nigga? Like, I'm tweaking. Like, I'm like, nobody's smelling this. It's been 2 days since the incident that went down. It was probably like a Monday or a Tuesday at this point. I'm just like, because I had a couch in my college room. So this is my dorm. It was like my bed would be on that side, my roommate's bed would be on that side. There was a couch in the middle, and we were all just sitting there on the couch smoking, like having a regular ass day. And I'm tweaking. I'm like, y'all smell that shit? But nah, it was her stench up on my upper lip for days. I had to like, it's just disgusting, grossest I've ever felt.
And
No offense to fat bitches, I just wouldn't fuck 'em.
And Shrek was on the whole time while this was happening?
Shrek 1. Shrek 1, like, literally grabs my hand, like, pulls it under the covers and, like, kind of angles my shit inside a little bit. And I'm like, oh, okay. All right.
Do you remember, like, what scene the movie was on when it happened?
Probably. Oh, no. It was... What's the Shrek 1 or Shark Tale?
Oh,
I'm thinking it was either the Shark Tale apartment scene, you know, where they're having the party, or it was the Shrek barn scene.
Oh, yeah, I know that one.
It was either one of those, but I feel disgusted to this day. Like, no offense to fat chicks, bro, or smelly chicks, bro, but stay the fuck away from me. Seriously, stay the actual living, honest to God, fuck away from me. And I'm saying that seriously. I mean, no, I'm not saying fat chicks stay away from me, but I'm saying I have a girlfriend, so I'm not interested in you. So, but if you think you're interested in me, don't voice the interest. If you get what I'm saying. I don't want to sound fucked up. And more fucked up than I already sound. But yeah. What's it looking like for the future? Like, you going back to school next summer?
So I'm actually here until tomorrow. I actually return back tomorrow, and I'm going to finish out the semester down there, and then I'm going to come home, and hopefully I am able to have my job back that sadly got canceled last summer.
What's your job?
I worked at a sports camp for younger kids.
How old?
From ages 7 to 13.
That's good. What's the camp called?
It's at UC Berkeley. I think a lot of people are probably familiar with it. It's called Blue Camp.
I've never heard of it.
Well,
maybe the Berkeley listeners, yeah.
Yeah, maybe for the Berkeley listeners. So for all the Berkeley listeners, if you go up Claremont Avenue, like right where the hotel is, and you know where like have you ever like been over there before?
Yeah.
And you know where like the station is, right? You know the burger joint that's like on that island right up there.
The station? Fire station? Police station?
Oh no, it's a restaurant just called The Station.
No, I'm not familiar.
Yeah, so if you go right up to that island, make a left, and you go up Claremont Boulevard, that's up there where there are a lot of like big houses over there, and you walk through a path, you'll end up at Clark Kerr and like where those tennis courts are.
Yeah, I know.
And that softball field, that's where it is exactly.
Okay. Young coach in the building, bro. I was coaching all summer. That's what I still was trying to do now. I just can't get no fucking hours. I'm signed up for the summer too now.
Yeah, I think especially what makes that job like meaningful to me is because I was a camper there like when I was 7, so when I was around 13. So the fact that I spent so much time there, and now that I've come full circle to work there, and like it still like runs the same way that it did when I was there, and like a lot of my fellow colleagues and staff members were also campers there. It just like it's kind of like a full circle thing. That's really cool about it. So and I've had a lot of good times there when I've worked there.
That's the trippy part about growing up. You be noticing. Do you ever notice just a lot of full circle ass moments that happen in your life?
Definitely.
Coming back home.
Definitely. Like coming back home from college, definitely. Like the first time I came home from college was kind of like a full circle moment. Like it just felt weird to me to be stepping into my own house, you know, with like a duffel bag, and like it's kind of felt like I was staying at a like as at a hotel, like as like a guest and stuff like that. It just felt really weird the first time.
I definitely felt the same way. Because when I came home, shit was very different. My mom, her friend was living here with us. And her friend and her daughter, they was paying rent. They were renting out my room and their room. So I was sleeping on that fold-out couch we're sitting on right now. That's where I was sleeping at. It was not cool. I did not even feel like I lived here anymore. Shit was wild. I be having those full circle moments all the time. Like, when I see something I haven't seen in like 10 years and I have like a super flashback.
Mm-hmm.
And that shit happens all the time too now.
Yeah, definitely, most definitely. When you have a lot of those moments, I feel like it's especially when I go home and I go to my mom's house, that's when I have like the most like full circle type moments. Especially, you know, because my mom lives in Rockridge, if you know where that is,
Yeah.
you know, like College Avenue. And then like I would walk from my mom's house to college, and then I would just walk down college and see all the places that I was used to, and then I'm like, I have a memory for like every single place that I walk by, which is pretty cool. Like like Zachary's, Barney's,
Yep.
Cactus,
Yep.
Rockridge,
Yep.
Rockridge Bart, walking all the way down to Oakland Tech. Yeah, yeah. So there's a lot of memories there.
You
for
walked all the way from Zachary's to Oakland Tech?
Sure. So during COVID, I developed a habit of like going on a walk every day just to kind of, you know, preserve like keep my mental state stable and to like clear my head. And in order for me to walk a good distance, I would walk from my mom's house to Oakland Tech, which is about a mile and a half walk. So, you know, definitely you get a good workout in, and it helps like clear the head especially.
My bad. It's just when I sip water, like when I sip it, it has a tendency to go down the wrong tube. Like, you ever heard of that saying?
Yeah, it goes down the wrong pipe, exactly.
Trust me, I'm not coughing because I have COVID or nothing. I'm just high as fuck trying to drink water. It's definitely a laborious task.
Yeah, yeah, definitely goes down the wrong pipe. Happens to all of us.
You ever smoked, bro? Never.
I don't think I probably will, just because I haven't really been too invested into it.
So, okay. So just like off the table, won't do it.
Yeah, I don't think so. It's just not really something that
it's just not for you.
Yeah, just not for me exactly.
Yeah, everybody has things they want to do. I mean, don't feel peer pressure to do anything that you don't feel cool with. Because then you'll have like a panic attack or some shit. You'll feel like you're not supposed to do it. You gotta feel ready for some shit.
Yeah, I feel like definitely in college people are like definitely like cool with you even if you like, you know, don't drink or don't smoke. I used to be afraid that like because I don't do those things, I wouldn't be seen as like, you know, quote unquote cool by those people. But like when I just walk up to someone like at one of those parties that I went to, and they, you know, like try to offer me to smoke something, I'm just like, no, I don't smoke. And then they just tell me like, oh, much respect to you, like I'm not proud that I do it, like I'm trying to quit. So definitely it feels good knowing that like I'm still accepted, even though I may not engage in that as much as others do.
What was I gonna say? Well, I definitely respect that everybody has their own limits. Me, I just don't happen to have any. I'll say this. I'm not going to do nothing too crazy. But if God came to me right now and offered me the one-time chance to do heroin and not get addicted, I'd probably shoot up. Why not? You wouldn't get addicted. Just to see what it's like. But sometimes, like, that's an experience you're not really ready for. I don't think anyone is supposed to be ready for heroin.
Yeah, I definitely see where you're coming from.
Some fucked up shit. That's fucked up for real.
What exactly were you referring to? That's fucked up, like heroin.
Yeah. Would you ever shoot up if God told you you could?
Um,
What about Will Smith?
I don't think I don't think it really matters like who tells me. I'd probably just turn it down every time, just cause like it's just not my thing.
Hmm.
Like I don't think it matters like who offers me.
No, I get it. That's really respectable because a lot of people don't really have that standard, that self respect to where even if Will Smith offers me crack, I'm not gonna snort it just because it's Will Smith. Do you have any idols growing up?
Oh yeah, I definitely have some idols. Like, are you talking about like maybe like in athletics or just like in
Anything?
general? I definitely LeBron, Kobe, Steph Curry.
What about LeBron inspires you?
I think because like he works very hard and he constantly like preaches the message of like hard work and like it'll eventually get you where you want to be, and the fact that he's been playing at such a high level for so many years is like really inspiring to me.
Longevity is something you aspire for?
Yeah, I want. Yeah, definitely. I want to, be able to do what I love doing for as long as I can, whether that be as we kind of got to earlier, going into the law field or like doing whatever. So
I rock with that.
yeah, yeah, definitely. I want to because I want to be able while while I'm alive, I want to be able to be happy and live a happy life because I know. Like I think what like Kobe's death really opened my eyes to is that you should really cherish the time you have on Earth because you never know when it can be taken away. So yeah.
Would you rather spend 20 years in the league, average 10 points, 10 points and 2 assists with 20 years in the league, or spend 9 years in the league, get injured, but your career averages are 30 and 8? 22 or 9? Nah, 9 is too much. I'll give you 7 seasons.
This is tough. I'd just say for the longevity, I would probably go with the 22 years because I feel like as long as you're like doing what you love and like yeah the and like yeah the stats might like help build up your reputation as a player, but I feel like as long as you're doing what you love, I think the stats kind of become like not as important to you.
Very humble energy. I'm definitely a 7 year picker. Just because I'm a shit talker. If I'm on the court and I beat you, I'm gonna tell you you're trash. But if I can average like 30 and 8, maybe sneak a ring in, and I'm out in 7 seasons, I'll call that legendary because then you can't argue me. There's nothing more, nothing less, and then at that point you're just speculating. Like the thing about Michael Jordan is they just be speculating about half the shit he done did. Like the LeBron shit he been playing for so long, it's like, well, we know what it is. But MJ only really he wasn't in the league too long before he was gone, and then did the Wizards bullshit. So you could speculate. I kind of would rather have the speculation.
Do you think you Oh, wait, lost my train of thought for a second. Oh, I got it back. So, do you think you would rather have, a career that's like, 21 years, let's say, and you play for the same team, your whole career, like Dirk Nowitzki or something like that. Like you play on the same team and like by the time you decide to retire, you don't win a ring, or would you rather, have a much shorter career and you switch teams a couple times, and each time you switch teams, you won a ring?
It depends on the situation, but honestly, I'd rather have the shorter career because the type of money you make in the NBA, it's gonna grow. You put it into anything. So like, if you're smart, if I had like, how short is the career you're talking about? Like, I got a 21-year career and an 11-year one, or like, what's the year?
Let's say 8.
8 years. Am I like a star player or just like an average guy?
Let's say like between star and average, like let's say you're good, but like not quite like at the star level, but not average.
And I got the same contract on both teams. Mm-hmm. We're talking modern day or like early 2000s.
Let's say modern day.
Okay, I'd do it because you're making modern day money. Like Kyle Kuzma makes probably 20-30 million. Trevor Ariza makes like 15-20 million. And they're like 10-12 point a game guys. I could do that shit. So you're average. So you average like 10-12 points. You're a solid rotational guy. People know your name. People buy your jersey, and you get multiple rings. That means you probably get the incentive checks. You get the deals. You know, maybe not the same amount of deals as a star player who spends 21 years in the league on their same team, but you get the deals. I'd do the short career. Fuck it. As long as people aren't looking at me like I'm some fucking Kevin Durant, I'm not really tripping on it. That's the thing.
Yeah, I can see that I can see that definitely, like with the exposure that you'll get. Sorry, that you'll get from like being in the league. Like as you said, like people buy your jersey, and you would have experienced being like at the top of the mountain of the league. So those are definitely like factors that could play into like the decision to choose a shorter career.
Definitely. I got a question. Mm-hmm. How'd you get here?
Oh, how did I get to this location?
Yeah.
Oh, I got a ride.
You got a ride?
Mm-hmm.
Mom and Papa's vibes. I don't know. I gotta take a piss. Any last words? I might think I'm about to end it off. We did some fucking damage.
I just wanted to say that it was great to be able to like kind of reconnect with you, especially because I feel like now more than ever it's important to kind of like reach out to your homies and your friends and like constantly like check on them, make sure, and like really like cherish the connections that you have in life, because those are the people that can help you through your toughest times and be there for you when you're at when you're at the highest of highs. So it was definitely great to be here, and thank you for allowing me to come on and just be a part of this. It's always it's always nice for me to be able to reconnect with old friends who I haven't seen in a while.
Okay, that's a vibe. I fuck with that, bro. I loved having you on, bro. Love hearing the stories. Love the reconnection. There's vibes up in this motherfucker. Toby Burack, my nigga, spur of the moment. Till next time, motherfucker.